Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakah Kwardash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them to tell us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and sincerity. And the brother Yashawan with another lesson. All right. Now, this is about the extermination plan that goes all the way back to Genesis 27. Okay. And still going on to this day because you Jakes don't even know who you are to this day. All right. You got to wake up and understand who your enemy is because he's trying to exterminate you before the Most High exterminates him. All right. So this is Genesis 27 and 41, and then we're going to watch a bit of a lengthy video, and we'll get a couple of precepts and bring it on home. Okay, so 27 and 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Now, Esau was supposed to get the blessing because he's the first son, right? But he sold it, okay? So Isaac blessed Jacob with Esau, what was supposed to be Esau's blessing, okay? The word Jacob, name Jacob means supplanter, usurper, okay? And that's what he did, all right? Because it was in the spirit, all right? That was the way the Most High wanted it to end up, all right? And now here's the conspiracy. Well, this is the conspiracy. This is the thought of genocide, all right? And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob, okay? Now, when you're dealing with Jacob and Esau, you're dealing with two nations of people, not just those two individual brothers, okay? So let's get that real quick, all right? So we'll just start here at 20. Well, no, we'll start at 19. And these are the generations, Genesis 25 and 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Okay, so we're dealing with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob right now, all right? Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian, of Pandamaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. So Rebekah couldn't have children, so Isaac went to inquire of the Lord in the way that they did that, through the seer, okay? And because Isaac was actually Yahushua, all right, on a deeper level, then the Most High granted his wish, and then we get here. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. She went to the seer to say, what is going on? And here's where we get the nations. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Okay? Now here's what we're looking for right here. 2 nations, not 2 babies. All right? Now we'll jump down here to 25. Well, 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, when she was about to give birth, behold, there were twins. Now we get the twins, and here are their names. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. They called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had a twin brother named Esau, and they represent 2 nations. Okay? Now, so when we go back to 27 and 41, when it says, Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father right hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. It's not talking about Esau slaying his brother Jacob. It's talking about the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, slaying the descendants of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So the Edomites, as a nation, are going to try and exterminate the nation of Israel. All right? Okay? So that's where we are. Now, we bring it up to today. They've been working on this project going way back. And now they're going to try to bring it to fruition. Let's watch some of that history. This is called Democracy Now! Channel, May 4th. Today is the 10th, I believe. The name of this video is Exterminate All the Brutes. And we're going to show you who the brutes are, but right now they're talking about Jacob, the nation of Israel. They're calling us the brutes. Okay? Filmmaker Raoul Peck explores colonialism and the origin of white supremacy. And wait a minute, the scripture said the first came out red, not white. And she looks a lot more red than she does white. This is white. This is a lot closer to this. Pink is a derivative of red. Okay? Plain and simple. You can see her blood showing forth through her skin. So let's watch this and see what they have to say.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the Quarantine Report. I'm Amy Goodman, joined by my co-host, Nermeen Sheikh. Hi, Nermeen.
Hi, Amy, and welcome to our listeners and viewers around the country and around the world.
Well, Republican lawmakers are continuing their attack on schools for teaching students about the true history of the United States, from the genocide of Native Americans to the legacy of slavery. Last week, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
So the genocide of the Native Americans and slavery are the same thing. Because first of all, those Native Americans, right, are us. They weren't the color red. They're clearly brown people, especially way back before the devil got to this side of the earth, all right? Those people are us. Those people are Israelites. They're copper colored, some of them very dark, all right? And then when the mixing started, right, some of them got bleached out. They called them red to disguise who they are, right, and confuse the situations. Anyway, you got to be real careful, because even when these people are telling the truth, it's always mixed with nothing but lies.
It's about the true history of the United States, from the genocide of Native Americans to the legacy of slavery.
Okay. The Native Americans and the so-called slaves are Israelites. So what are you talking about, the truth of America? You're going to be calling them slaves Africans. You're not going to call them who they really are. So you're just the devil with more trickery, more deception. But we're going to watch this anyway, because there's lies mixed with truth, and that's how you get in. Okay, you ain't going to come out and say the real truth about who those people are. Native Americans, all right, well, where did they come from before they got here? All right, it's in the Bible. All right, in the book of 2nd Ezra.
Last week, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell wrote a letter to Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, criticizing what he described as the department's promotion of revisionist history, including the New York Times 1619 Project, which re-examined the pivotal role slavery played in the founding of the United States. In his letter, McConnell wrote, quote,
"The United States was already founded, okay, Arsereth. There were people living here in civilized communities until the devil came over here and started killing people. All right, so I mean, just your language that you're using right now, you're not saying that they came over here, and they will. They'll speak on it a little bit, but the way that they're setting it up, right? They're holding on to this, you know, doctrine of devils. Okay.
Americans never decided our children should be taught that our country is inherently evil,
It is.
he said. New York Times reporter Nicole Hannah-Jones, who created the 1619 Project, responded by saying, quote, Republicans across the U.S. are pushing laws to mandate so-called patriotic education and to prohibit the teaching of the 1619 Project about the nation's racist past. Well, today we spend the hour looking at an epic new series that delves deeply into the legacy of European colonialism from the Americas to Africa. The documentary is titled Exterminate All the Brutes.
Okay, so, hey, those Hamites are a bunch of damn brutes. And so are these people. These are the brutes right here. Exterminate? What? Who are the brutes? You got a genocidal plan out here. What did you do to Gad, the so-called Native American? You're the brutes. They tried to help you. You made treaties, broke everyone, and came out with a smallpox extermination plan. I mean, Tuskegee, we could go right down the line. All right? We know who the brutes are.
Tree is titled
We know who the devil is.
Exterminate All the Brutes.
Okay, now this goes back to then will I slay my brother Jacob. This is Esau moving forward with his plan, and this goes back 400 or 500 years. All right? The 1619 whatever. All right, they've been running a genocidal campaign going back hundreds of years. Who's the brute? Okay?
It's directed by the Haitian filmmaker Raoul Peck. It's been described as an unflinching narrative of genocide and exploitation, beginning with the colonizing of indigenous American land. This is the documentary's trailer.
Here is the story we have been told in Columbus's travel journal. They were discovered. But there is no such thing as alternative facts. There is something we need to talk about. 3 words that summarize the whole history of humanity. Civilization, colonization, extermination. This is the origin of the ideology of white supremacy. This is me in the middle, and I just want to understand. Why do I bring myself into this story? Because I am an immigrant from an old country. Neutrality is not an option.
So you rest up, or get out the way.
It's time to own up to a basic truth. The story of survival and violence. We know now what their task truly is. Exterminate all the brutes. It's not knowledge we lack. You already know enough. What is missing is the courage to understand what we know.
Let's start with who God's chosen people, the nation of Israel, is. That's what this story is about. And Raoul, you left that part out. Okay, otherwise you couldn't get to HBO. We know how the story goes.
We're miles apart,
Who are we?
but safe.
We're the nation of Israel, and you're not going to bring that truth out. They won't let you. They won't let you make your film, Raoul Peck. Okay? Who is Esau? Who is Jacob? Esau made a vow, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's what we're watching. So you can bring, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take the headlines, which this is a headline news, right? What is it? Democracy Today. Democracy Now! Take the headlines in the news and you filter them through the scriptures. These people right here are one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Maybe a couple of the tribes are mixed in here, but they're not going to come out and tell the truth. Democracy Now! Is not going to tell the truth. Raoul Peck can't tell the truth about who these people are. All right? You got to call them Native Americans, but you're not going to call them who they really are. All right? And that's what the men of the Lord are here to do. We take things like this and filter it through the scriptures and show you what this killing is about. All right? What this genocidal program is about. We took it back to Genesis 27, and we're looking at it in real time now with moving pictures, okay?
What if, from the beginning, the story was told the wrong way? The nightmare is buried deep in our consciousness, so deep that we do not recognize it. And over the centuries, we lost all bearings. Because the past has a future we never expect.
That's the trailer for the HBO documentary series Exterminate All the Brutes, which is available on HBO and HBO Max. Time magazine said the series, quote, may well be the most politically radical and intellectually challenging work of nonfiction ever made for television.
Okay, and of course, this guy, the only way he can make some money is to go out and push a bunch of false. Who are these people? You keep calling them the Native Americans. That's not who they are. Where's that in the Bible, the Native Americans? All right? What is their actual name according to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua? All right? Who is this guy? All right? So when it doesn't add up, all right, then there's deception going on. And really what they're doing is confusing the issue. But we know better. We know what the scriptures say. All right?
We're joined by the Oscar-nominated Raoul Peck, who joins us from France. He was born in Haiti, grew up in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. After his
Does that mean that he's an Israelite? This could be a tear. Let's find out. Let's analyze it.
parents fled the Duvalier dictatorship. His past films include I Am Not Your Negro, about James Baldwin, Lumumba, about the Congolese prime minister, the founding leader of Congo, Patrice Lumumba, and the young Karl Marx. Raoul Peck, it's great to have you back on Democracy Now! This is an epic masterpiece, this 4 one-hour documentary series. Can you talk about how you went from I Am Not Your Negro, which was the story of James Baldwin, to creating this masterpiece?
Well, basically, after I Am Not Your Negro, I went throughout the world with the film. I was fortunate to be able to see how the film was received in many different places. And one of the common thread through that was the type of reaction that you just mentioned, like Senate Leader Mitch McConnell. This denial is somehow a sign that they feel that they are entrenched now. They are attacked.
If you went throughout the world, as soon as you got off of the American shores, they told you who the Israelites are, okay? Because it's well known outside of Babylon the Great, also called America. That's what happened with Malcolm X. When he went abroad to the Hajj in Mecca, they said, hey, you ain't no African. And then he came back and said, we are the dry bones that the Bible is talking about. That's why they had to kill that Negro, because he was about to, let the cat out of the bag.
There is great fear about some sort of civilization going overboard. And it's, for me, it's, it's a symbol that the type of lies, the type of propaganda, the type of abuse that we have been subject to for during all these years. I'm old enough to have heard many other people like Nick Santorum, Mitch McConnell, and many others throughout the years. The only difference now is that we have the means to counter them. We have the means to tell the real story.
And the real story starts in the beginning, all right? The gods, Elohim, created the heavens and the earth, all right? That's the real story. And you find out who is who. You find out who's scheming on who. And you find out what happens in the end when the Most High sends his son back to win all wars and settle this place in righteousness. All right? That's what's going to happen. None of these prophecies shall fail. So whatever you're not saying, Mr. Raoul Peck, the men of the Lord are breaking down clearly. All right?
Exactly what I decided to do to once.
And this guy's illuminated. First of all, you ain't telling the truth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be no filmmaker, no director. All right? So you're working for the other side no matter what your heritage goes back to. You're clearly a 2/3. You ain't got no beard on your face. You done shaved your head. That's against the scripture. That's against the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So you're already a 2/3. Okay? You're telling lies. You're not waking the people up. All right? You're not warning them. You're just trying to make enough money for you and your immediate family when we're at the end of this kingdom. So what is your problem?
All put everything on the table without any semblance of holding back my punches.
Bullshit. Why aren't you saying that these are not Africans? These are Israelites. How come you're not saying that? So you're full of shit right there. And we can break you down. No beard, shaven. Okay?
Well, everything is on the table. I've been on the table for a long time.
Wrong.
Except that it was in little bits everywhere.
Except that you got to make money in this kingdom and try to perpetuate it when it's over and we're watching the downward spiral and full-on collapse of Satan falling like lightning from heaven.
Because, science, sociology, and anthropology, etc., politics have been cut up in little pieces. So
they show in both the northern king. This is the northern kingdom here. You go back, that's the southern kingdom. But you ain't saying who they are.
Anthropology, etc., politics have been cut up in little pieces. So we lost the wider perspective. And the film does exactly that, to bring us to the core story, to have the whole matrix of the last 700 years of basically Eurocentric ideology and narrative.
Well, Raulpek, in providing this broader historical context, you trace the origins of contemporary modern forms of biological racism to the Spanish Inquisition and the so-called purity of blood statutes, that is, limpieza de sangre.
Why? Purity of blood, why? Because you are who your father is, and there's one bloodline that is chosen. It's the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. All right? So there's nothing wrong with separating that. Okay? Because in the end, guess what? Yahushua is bringing division. You're going to put the goats on one side and the sheep on the other. All right?
That was a means of distinguishing old Christians from conversos, that is, Jews, but also Moors, from the pure blood of Christians.
Ha! Pure blood of Christians? Okay? So what does that word Christian mean? First of all, Christian is a religion. Okay, it's not a nation. So what are you talking about, pure blood? See, when you're talking to somebody who has no knowledge of terms, you could get away with statements like that. Okay, Moors, all right, Jews. Okay, you could have pure blood of Jews. You could have pure blood of Moors, which goes back to Israel. Okay, but you can't have pure blood of Christians. That's a religion. Christian means follower of Christ or follower of Hamashiach. All right? That's a religion. It's an ideology. It's not, Christian is not a nation. Okay? Jew, to be a Jew or Judah is a tribe of the nation of Israel. Okay? So words have meaning, and if you know the meaning of words, then you can break down all lies.
From conversos, that is Jews, but also Moors, from the pure blood of Christians.
Okay. The Christians that they're talking about are those Spanish Edomites. They knew who as far as the Inquisition goes, all right, first of all, the Israelites who were calling themselves Spaniards, who ruled Spain, right, during what is known as the Dark Ages of the Byzantine Empire, all right, they were being taken down, all right, and enslaved and killed, right, as the Edomites, who were claiming the land, calling themselves Christians, right, if you didn't convert to Christianity and be a good slave, they were exterminating us and deporting us, okay? So you can throw words around all you want to and continue. What is this? What's this right here? Okay? What does the OK sign, A-OK sign mean? It means 666. All right? You're throwing up gang signs right there, and we understand that.
These laws, you say, are the antecedents of the ideology of white supremacy. For the first time in the world, the idea of race based on blood was enshrined into law.
Nope. That goes back to the Most High when he gave Moses the laws, right? Actually, it went all the way back to the beginning, but, all right, when it was written in stone, those laws were based on the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. So you can just be broken down. This is a bunch of hogwash and more deception, right? But you're pushing it forward like you're actually telling these people who they actually are, and you're not.
So, how should we understand the continuities between the purity of blood statutes and the forms of racist violence we witness today? Because the entire argument of this truly magnificent work is that the past is not really past. It
is about to go down, okay? Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. That's what Yahweh said, all right? And he's going to raise Jacob up, Israel, in these last days. And the enemies of Jacob are going to be put into slavery, right? And eventually exterminated, all right? And this devil knoweth that he hath but a short time. So,
as you say, the past has a future that we can't anticipate.
Well, the thing is that we are accustomed to not see history as a continuity, as you say. And we came from a very specific history. And we are not, some sort of a tribalist, tribe where that came out nowhere. Today's civilization is basically embedded in the capitalistic societies. And that story started around the 10th and 11th century with the first accumulation of riches, accompanied by killing and exiling of Jews, killing Muslims, trying to go all the way to Jerusalem. And those first crusades were able to, create a lot of, or not create, to basically extract a lot of riches that allows the monarchy to be able to finance trips to discovery new roads to the east. And the accident, which it was of the so-called discovery of the new continent, was not something they planned, but it
What was that?
to discovery new roads to the east. And the accident, which it was of the so.
Look at this. Rape of the Negro Girl, 1632. Look at this. These devils got a lot to pay for. All right, so that's enough on that. Let's get a couple of precepts and we'll go ahead and close it out. All right? Let's get 2 Corinthians here. Can't even look at that shit and not be mad. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We know that you're using this television, you're using 2/3 Negro to confuse the situation even further. How come you're not saying, okay, this is Esau, this is Jacob, okay? You're not saying that. You're going right around it. Negro, well, who are the Negroes? All right? The Negroes are not Africans. They're Israelites. How come you're not going into that? All right? So you ain't telling no truth. You're pushing this white supremacy as far as it'll go to enrich yourself. All right? So we know, okay, you're in league with Satan, with the adversary. All right? Let's get Obadiah. What the hell? All right, so this is talking about them Edomites, okay? Let's get 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Well, research, okay? A diligent study, reading the scriptures, okay? Line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. We know what's going on here. The Most High gave us into the hands of this devil because we weren't keeping the commandments, right? We know who this is, okay? We know who the brutes are. These are the brutes, all right? Watch, let's prove it. This is Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, talk about the angels, to the extent that the living may know that the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, ruleth in the kingdom of men. The Most High is running the show and giveth it to whosoever he will. The Most High can set up a kingdom like he did with Pharaoh in Egypt, okay, and give it to whosoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. Well, who, right, let's go back to this. This is the basest of all men right here. That's the brute beast, okay? Let's prove that real quick. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's in rulership of the earth? Who did the Most High set up over the kingdom? The basest of all men. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's in rulership today? Who's running the earth as we know it? He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Well, Caesar Borgia, all you got to do is look at that picture and see who they used to cover the face of Yahweh Shai, so-called black man. If not, where and who is he? Okay? If that ain't the devil, then where and who is he? All right? Now we got to go to Malachi. Malachi 1. All right. Watch how it reads. Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel. To Israel. So the Most High is talking to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you. Who's he talking to? To Israel. I've loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. Let's jump down. Find out who the wicked are. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return to build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord. Here's what God said. They shall build, but I will throw it down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who are the wicked? Edom. They shall call them. They shall call who? They shall call the Edomites the wicked. Who are the Edomites? The people against whom the Lord hath indignation, righteous hatred forever. What do you mean he hates them forever? Well, he said it right here. And I hated Esau. You got a problem with God? This is wicked. The border of wickedness right there. Okay? So this dude you ain't laying it all out there. The men of the Lord lay it all out there. All right? With knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. All right? So go back and watch this, Democracy Now! Watch the whole thing. Exterminate all the brutes. Go watch the film on HBO. 4-part series, apparently. All right? And we're going to go ahead and close. I hope that the elect were edified. With that, we're going to say shalom.